Good afternoon, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Um, and I hope everything is going on with the preparations for your semester test. Okay. Chapter, I think it's the one for the hypothesis testing for true population. For those who are asking about the video, yeah, you can check the video there on my YouTube channel. You'll see it's STTN121, STTF122, hypothesis testing. Yeah, check there and on my YouTube channel. For this one will be the one for the hypothesis testing. Interesting chapter, this one. You remember, I know that all of you guys, you did STTN 111 last semester. For those who are doing STTN 121 and STTN 124, last semester you did STTN 111. So from STTN 111, you did this chapter. It was the regression, linear regression. I hope you all remember that chapter, linear regression, where you were given the table, the X and also the Y, the independent and also the dependent, something like the variables. Now you remember that for you to find the least square, you use that method. You substitute on the one on the calculator. You you substitute the values there. You get the value of A. You also get the value of B. Then now you can conclude. Then you conclude the equation. Same applies to the coefficient of the Pearson correlation coefficient, yeah, which is R. Now you remember that for you to get the thing to get the coefficient of determination, you had to use the correlation coefficient. You have to square it, then you get the the correlation, the coefficient of determination. Yeah, but now with this one, the multiple regression, it means we are dealing with the multiple values. Yeah, let me just say multiple, where most of the time you will be given the stat 1.2, I think it's that 1.2 output. So you're going to analyze it. Not everything's there, but I would say 95% of the information is there on that stat 1.2 output. You just need to know how to analyze. You just need to know how to do the analysis there on the multiple regression. So we'll start with the basics. Then after doing the basics, then I will do some few questions. Maybe I will go, which one? The ones I have. I think I have 2023. Yeah, then I will check. The ones I have 2023 and also 2022. 2022. Okay, let's see. Let's start. Okay, let's check. Now, after the completion of this study unit, we must demonstrate linear regression by applying it to problem solving in practice. Okay, then obtain and interpret the information. Okay, let's see. That's the introduction. Okay, you all remember this formula from STTN 111. When you guys were doing STTN 111, you all remember this formula where you were given the X and also the Y. You're going to use a calculator to get the value to on that method that we're going to use. You will see X and you will also see Y. Then you get the A and also get the value of B. The value of B. But now with the multiple regression, this is the formula. Y is equal to BO plus B1 X1 plus B2 X2 till BK XK plus the E. Interesting formula. Then the estimated regression equation, we can write it like this. Small letter BO plus small letter B1, X1 plus B2, and then plus X2. You can just write it like this. Okay, now with the multiple regression, you will be given something like this. You will be given something like this. You see, you will be given this. Né? This is that thing that I mentioned. Is that 1.2, 1.3 output. Yeah, 1.2, 1.3 output. So you just need to know how to analyze this here. Now, you saw the formula. Y is equal to BO plus B1 X1 plus B2 X2. It will depend on the number of the variables that you have or the intercept. If you have three of them, obviously like the formula will be Y is equal to BO plus B1 X1 plus B2 X2 plus B3 X3 because you have three intercepts. Now, with this one here, this is our start 1.3 output there, okay? Here on this one, this output there. You just need to, if they give you this output, remember with the multiplication, you will be given something like this now. So what you are going to do, if you are required to, let's say they want you to determine the equation of the estimated regression, you're going to get it here. You see regression coefficients. The intercept is 1 and 2. We only have two intercept. It means that since you have two intercept, it's going to be the x1, it goes with b1. X2, it goes with b2. That's the reason why after putting a value of b1, you have to put x1. After putting a value of b2, you have to put x2. Oh, yeah. And then now, for you to get those values for the intercept or the one for this equation, you're going to get them here under the parameter estimates. Like always, if they wanted to find the estimated linear regression under the multiple regression here, for you to get that equation, you're going to get it here under the B parameter estimates. The first one, you see this one, the first one is BO. This one, the first one is BO, the BO. Let me just try to increase this. The first one is BO, the first one, BO. Now the second one, you see this one, it corresponds with X1. So that doesn't why it's B1, B1 X1. The third one, it corresponds with X2. That's the reason why it's B2 X2. The value of B2 X2. That's how you get the equation. Interesting. That's how you get the equation. Now, after getting the equation, you need to know how to interpret those regression coefficients. Now you know how they got this one and even this one and even this one on the output. There's that output. Now you need to know how to interpret this. So now under the interpretation of this regression coefficients, if you check, remember this is the BO, and it's positive. So we'll say that now that BO of 5.257 now, where because you would be given a statement, or maybe let me show you something, the information that you'll be given. You will be given the info. So the minute you interpret by looking at the value and also the information that you are given. So here in this case, they said, okay, the 5.257 where no radio and also television were X1. The X1 it's for the radio and television, and then the newspaper advertising, which is X2, was done. That's how you interpret by just look, but you need to mention the value of the BO first. Then after you do the interpretation, okay, the mean sale of this amount for a seat where no, this one is equal to this one and this one. That's how you interpret the BO. The B1, remember, it's very important to check if it's positive or negative. Now let's check the interpretation for B1. Since the B1 is positive, we will say the B1 of 0.162. Remember, you'll be given the information and you'll be given the output. So now you need to check the B1, it corresponds like the X1, is it like the sale? I mean, like the radio or the television advertising and so on. So here in this case, Remember the B1 is positive, ne? You start to say B of that is equal to 0,162, where the sales will increase. The reason why it will increase because the value here, it's positive, meaning it's increasing. The value will increase with 0,162. Then we just multiply this by, we convert it to 1,000. For each 1,000 increase in radio, remember the reason why we said increase, because of its positive here. We see on radio and also television advertising. Okay, provided that that newspaper advertising remain constant. Yeah, that's how you interpret the value of wait, the value of P1, the value of P1. But it's very important for you to check if it's negative or positive. But here it was positive. Now, to interpret this B2 also, check. This is positive, meaning it's also increasing. So therefore, the B2 it's equal to 0,249. You're going to convert this to 1,000, like here. Okay. Thus, the sales will increase with that 0.249 for each 1,000 increase in newspaper advertising, provided that the radio and television, they remain constant. So that's how you interpret the BO, B1, and B2. Yeah, that's how you do it. And then okay, this one I think so it. What's the other one? This one, okay. This one it's Afrikaans. A little bit, yeah, this one. Okay. Where's the other one? Yeah, this one it's easy because now you are given the equation. So when you're given the equation on this one, okay, let's look at this one and see. And see. Okay, they say a website selling the second-hand bicycle allows users to bid on bicycles that other users have to put for sale. Over the last year, the website has overseen the sale, okay, and is equal to 64. Okay, now if you check this, what will the average of the average sales be for 5-year-old second-hand? Original cost 7,500 and also has a condition rating. So now with this one, remember, you need to check the age of the bicycle. It's X1. Here it is. Where is it? This one. It's X1. Now, the the original price of the bicycle, here it is. The bicycle cost 7,500, which is X2. You see that thing where I was saying that you'll be given a statement, like the scenario, something like a scenario. And then now, the condition of the rating, the condition here, it's 7, which is X3. So you're just gonna use this equation. You put where you see X1, you're going to put 5. Where you see X2, you're going to put 7,500. Where you see X3, you're going to put 7. Then you get the average sales price. Yeah. Then what's the other one? I think you did from STTN121, you did the coefficient of determination. And you all remember that under the condition of the coefficient of determination, it ranges between like from 0 and 1, between 0 and 1. And if you get the coefficient of determination as 1, it implies what? A perfect fit. But if it's equal to 0, it means that like the least square of that, the one for the coefficient of determination, does not fit the data at all. Because it's 0. Yeah. Because it's 0. Now again, this is very important. Now you saw the formula for the least equation, the estimated regression equation. The formula of y0 is equal to BO, I mean the y bar is equal to BO plus B1 x1, B2. Remember, it will depend on the number of the intercept that you're given. Yeah, you saw that one, you saw how to interpret that, or how to interpret to get those values on the output and so on. But then now you also saw like if you are given the equation, but if they don't give equation, maybe on 1.1 they want you to find the equation, then 1.2 you are given maybe certain values. You need to check value number 1, what is it? If it's maybe sale, and then on the instruction they said the sale is equal to x1, the other one is equal to x2, you're just going to use the equation, you substitute those values there on the equation, then you get the answer. But now This one is also important, the adjusted coefficient of determination. So the adjusted coefficient of determination, we see it by this R square A, which is 1 minus, it's n minus 1, where the n is the number of observation, divided by n minus k minus 1 into 1 minus r squared, where r squared is the coefficient of determination. That's the reason why they call it adjusted coefficient of determination. Yeah. Then let's see the one. Even this one, you will be given the output. On the output, what you're going to check, you're going to check for n, you're going to check for k, you're going to check for this, for the coefficient of determination, for this, on that thing. Let's see. So the one for the output, you will be given something like this now. Here, already you were given the adjusted coefficient of determination, which was it's 0.920201. But now let's check I want the one for the scenario where we were not given that thing. There's something that I want. Okay, on how to calculate that one. I think we'll have to go back to this. I'm just going to show you how to get those things there on the output. Yeah, I think that way. That way. Yeah, now look at this one here. You see, remember we said it's 1 minus n minus 1 divided by n minus k minus 1 into 1 minus r squared. Let's say for e.g., you were not given this. You are required to find this adjusted coefficient of determination. You saw the formula there, because I think you'll be proud with the formula sheet. So now what you are going to do, you're going to check n, it's the n, check n, which is the number of observation, check also the k. So now the n will be 22, the n. Then as for the value of k, the k is the number of the variables, like, or the intercepts. So if you check, we have x1, we have x2, the k will be equal to 2. If we had x3, the k will be equal to 3. Yeah. And then as for the r squared, because now we need this one, number one, the n, we need n. Number two, we need the k. And you saw if it's the intercept that we only have 2, the k will be equal to 2. If we had 3, x3 here, the k will be equal to 3. That's number 2. Number 3, we need the coefficient of determination with this one. Once you get this, once you get 1, 2, and 3, it's going to be easy for you to calculate the adjusted coefficient of determination. You see, 23, k is equal to 2, and the coefficient of determination of 0.9277. Now let's go back to this part. You see here it is. You saw that n, it was 22. The k, remember, I said we were given the intercept of x1, we're also given x2. But if under the intercept we were also given x3 and we're also given x4, it means that now the k will be equal to what? Will be equal to 4. If we're given this, now the k will be equal to what? Will be equal to 4. But now, because we are given x1 under the intercept and we are also given x2, it means that now that k will be equal to what? Will be equal to 2. Will be equal to 2, because we are given only 2 intercept, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Yeah. And then it's 2. Then you saw, I showed you on how to get this one there, coefficient of determination. You substitute using this formula, this one here. And then now you're going to get the adjusted coefficient of determination. Then you are done. Maybe 2 marks. Yeah. Then you are done. So yeah, that's how you do it. Let's go and look at this one. Let's check. Okay, this part that I want to explain. Is it? Okay. I think it's 14.4 to 6, yeah. Mhm. Okay. And another thing is to formulate the null and alternative hypothesis. Very important. Very, very important to formulate. Now, with regards to the part of formulating the null and alternative hypothesis, you just say null hypothesis where bi is equal to 0 versus alternative bi is not equal to 0. That will be our hypothesis. Okay, let's check the questions. Let's check. And the one where, sorry, Africans, this one. Okay, yeah, you saw how to formulate. Ne? Now, again, under the multiple regression, ne? Now, it's very important to understand the question, and also after checking out or analyzing the state output, it's very important now. Now, so far, you saw, and maybe now you understand on like how to calculate or maybe to find the equation of the estimated regression. Y bar is equal to BO plus B1 x1 plus B2 x2. You saw that formula plus B3 x3. It will depend on the number of the intercept that we are given. You saw how to do that. You saw on how to interpret BO, B1, B2. And also you need to check if they are positive or negative. You saw on how to do that. You saw on how to calculate the what? The adjusted coefficient of determination. On how to get the N, how to get the K, and also the coefficient of determination, R squared. Now we have another one where we say that it's the contribution. Remember, on the question they will specify like which one will be the contribute the most and the least and so on. So the contribution of the variable to this R squared. This is the contribution. This one. The R square minus R square I, where the R square is the coefficient of determination. We know this one. R square I is the value of that coefficient of determination where, for example, we will assume that, or the ith, the independent variable, it is removed. But now, if they say they want the contribution or the contribution to R squared, then this is the one, the R squared minus R squared I. I think we will be given the output. This is the output. You see, even when you check on that output, you'll see something contribution to the variable here. This, you're just gonna check this. Now, this one here, if they say which variable contributes the most, you're just going to compare 0,5744 and 0,3021. Obviously, will be 0,5744 over this one. And then this one doesn't contribute the most, this one. So that's how you see the contribution of the thing of to R squared. Another thing now, another method that you can use, or another measure that you can use for the contribution of each variable to R square, you can use the F square, which is equal to this one here, divided by 1 minus R square. Yeah, if you want, you can also use this formula. If you use this formula, you're just going to check here, you take this. They're just trying to show you on how they got this value here. F square is equal to R square minus R square Y, which is this part, divided by 1 minus R square. And 1 minus the R square will be this one. Then you get the F square. They just trying to show us on how they got this, the measures. And then yeah, that's it. That is the one. That's the other one. Okay. Now, yeah, when it comes to the part of formulating the null and alternative hypothesis, please be careful of this. This is very important. Yeah? Remember, we said that HOBI is equal to 0. And the other one of the alternative, we say that the BI is not equal to 0. What are that thing, the BI and so on? What is that thing? The BI and so on. But now think about this, ne? If I am given the output, or let's say this is our output, ne? Or is it this back there? I think it's that output. You saw the output we're given 2 intercepts. So it means since under the output we're given the 2 intercepts, let's go back to the output so I can show you something. I think it was here. Yeah, we're given intercept x1 and x2. So it means that when you formulate the null hypothesis, you will say that HO B1 is equal to B2, like this. B1 is equal to B2 is equal to BK is equal to 0. You can also use this method. Ne? Or you can also say that HA under the HA is not equal, BI is not equal to 0 for at least one I. Because remember, we're dealing with like at least one, the independent variables, because we have 1, 2. On that one, we have 2. That's how you formulate. Now, this one here, this is the new formula of the test statistic. Now, this is how you do it, ne? Because you might feel like maybe the formulas are changing and so on. You do your notes, you write down, you be like, okay, the multiple regression, so far, I learned about on like how to find the regression when you are given the stat output. I know that I'm going to check on the table or on the output. I'm going to check for BO, the intercept BO, the B1, the B2. If you do have the two intercepts or the three of them, you know how to interpret. You write down the notes. You know how to interpret, and also you know how to find the adjusted coefficient of determination. You need to know the value of n, the value of k, and also the value of the coefficient of determination. You need to know that. Now, the contribution to r square of each variable, you saw that it's r square minus r square I. That's where you're going to find the contribution of that r square. You saw that. Now, the hypothesis to formulating part, you also write it down, okay? This is how you formulate the null and alternative hypothesis under multiple regression. Now, you go to another formula, be like, this is the formula for the test. Remember, you'll be provided with the formula sheet. This is the formula for the test statistic. F is equal to n. Now you know how to find n minus k. You know also, I explained on how to find k and n. R square, you'll be given there. You know how to find this. 1 minus the r square. Also this one. You also be given r square there. Then you do it like this. Now, this part is the part of the degrees of freedom. So F, you know how to find K, N, K, and also N and K. Then it's going to be useful to calculate the test statistic. Let's check if we're given. So when we use the information that we're given, this is how we formulate. Let's go ahead and look at this. Remember, here we're only given two intercepts, x1 and x2. When you formulate the null hypothesis, you're going to say that HO where B1 is equal to B2, because you only have two intercepts. You see, B1 is equal to B2, they're equal to 0. Under the HA alternative, you're just gonna say at least one of the two B items, not 0. Yeah, at least one. At least one. That's how you formulate. If we had three, the three intercept, maybe here we're x1, x2, and x3. We're going to say B1 is equal to B2 is equal to B3 is equal to 0. Yeah. And then, yeah, then for the test statistic, the one we're using the value of f. Remember we said that n is 22, k is 2. Why? The reason why they got 2 is because of the intercept, the number of the intercept of the variables is x1 and x2, which is 2. If we had x1 and x2 is x3, the intercept will be, the k will be equal to 3. Yeah, will be equal to 3. Then divide by the 2 according to the formula into the r squared that you were given, that will be given from this is the 1. Then divide by 1 minus r squared here. And then you get the test statistic of 121.897. Now, since you got the test statistic, remember, here we need to check, are you going to reject the null hypothesis or we fail to reject the null hypothesis? But now, remember, you will be given alpha, the level of significance, either 10%, 1%, and 5% here, but we're given 5%. Ne? So when we're given 5%, remember to get the degrees of freedom, it's that one of n. This is the one. I think there was a formula. You see, fk here, the k, and then n minus k minus 1. Now, the k, if you look at this, the k is 2 here. then the one of n minus k minus 1 is 22 minus 2 minus 1, which would be 19. So now, the critical value, the aim is to compare the critical value, or the aim is to compare the test statistic with the critical value. So since now the test statistic we got 121.897, we are going to compare 121.897 with the critical value, the one that you've got on the table. The table that you are going to use, you're going to use F table. You're going to, let me check if the value, there's a table here on this one. Okay, let me check if there's a table. No, there's no table. Can I check that thing? The one for the F table. Okay, I think I will have to download it. Let me just do this. Okay, let me just do this quickly. Where's Ifundi? Where's Ifundi? Uh, STTN. Just gonna download it there on the module site. Let me just check. Download it there. I just need one question paper. I just want to show you how they got 3.52 on the table. The old tests, the one, 2023, that's which one? Semester testing. Yes, okay. Okay, let me go back and share my screen. Okay, taking time to load. Hey, then what's happening with this? Because I got the question paper that I just opened, I can't even scroll down on this question paper. Let me check the other one. Test 3. Yeah, test number 3. Yeah, test 3. Okay, let me share my screen again. Where is it? This is the one. I just want to show how they got that value there. That value. Where is it? Okay. Remember, it was what? How is the thing? It, it was 2 and also the 19. 2 and 19. Let me just this first. Okay. Um, Now we said that it's, remember, it was F, and then it was what, K, and then the other one was N minus K, and then minus 1. Now you know how they got the test statistic, né? This part of Fk and then also N minus K. This is where you're going to find this whole thing here is the critical value, where for you to get the critical value, you need to use the degrees of freedom, né? So this one, I believe it will be V1 and this one will be V2 on the F table, né? But don't forget, you are given the level of significance as 0.05, né? This is K, you know how they got K. I think I explained it. It was 2. This one, we said 22 minus 2 minus 1, which is 19. Né? Now we have V1 of 2, V2 of 19. So now we're going to use this method here. Where is it? The table. Let's check if we're given the table. On this one, there was no table. Okay, let me just quickly do this and check. We're not given the table. So if you're not given the table, it means that there was no question where you were required to compare the test statistic of the multiple regression with the critical value. Can I find the table? Let me check the exam. Let me check the first top exam. I want to show you guys how now they got that thing on the table. What's the table? The table. Okay, this one. I'll have to check under the resources because you'll have to use a table to get that critical value. The tutorials, the slides. I think the tutorials. Let me check if we do have the table. That's which one? 5 things. Sounds no. Okay, I'm gonna check this one. Just wanna check the tables. Standard normal table. Standard normal table. This one. Let me check under the slides. If maybe I'll just get the table. This one. Or is it 6? Just check the table. No, this one. Okay, it's fine. Let me check this one. But remember, no, that's not the one. No. This one, yeah. Remember, if you're not given the table, it means that I believe that you'll not be required to find that critical value because you have to use a table. But I'm trying to check here on this is the one, okay? Just want to check. This one, what is this one? Yeah. Just want to check this part. No, not this one. Let me check on this. You will find the table. Mm, just scroll down. I'm still checking here. I just want the table. Even this one, I can't find it. I can't find the table. The tables. The tables. The tables. Admin. No, 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 not admin. Let me check it. Gosh, guys, I can't find the tables and I can't find them. Gosh, I can't find the thing. I'm looking for the. Mm, Let me uh, check this one. I just need the table just to show you on how to put that thing there. Mm, One. This one. Let's check this one of a second now. Let's see if they were given the tables. I need the F, the F, the F, the F. Oh, oops, there was no F. Okay, but it's fine. Now I can't find the tables, so try to check them. Mm, okay, let me put this. What's the thing? Let me share my screen again. Man, what's the... Okay, yeah, let me share my screen again because I can't find the tables. This is the one. Okay, so if you are given the F table, ne, the F table that you are going to use, you're going to use the F table for 0.05, ne, and then you're going to check 2 and 19. Now, man, I think there was I forgot. There was this study unit where you had to use the F table. I don't remember. I think study unit 1. I'm not sure. Study unit 1 or 2. There was this other study unit where you have to use, if you know the table that I'm talking about, F table. Yeah. You're good. The V1 will be 2, V2 will be 19. Then you get the degrees of freedom, the critical value of 3.52. Yeah. Then now you're going to compare. So now we're going to compare 121.897 with 3.52. So obviously the test statistic is the bigger one. So therefore, we reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, we make a conclusion that at least one of the independent variables is related to the sales of electronic, because you'll be given the statement there, the scenario. Because I tried to check the tables, I can't find them. And one other thing. And also try to check this one, that if the normal probability plot of the residuals, if you look at the dots, even the line, the dots, it means that this is what we call, it's perfectly normally distributed with this one. But with this one, look at the dots. You see, with the direction of like this. So this one is what? It's not normally distributed, because even when you look at the dots here, not normally distributed. Yeah. It's the other one. This one is the residuals, the graph of residual versus predicted. Then these are just the questions. You remember, you'll be given something like this now. Now, when you look at the questions, they say calculate the estimated regression equation. It means they want you to write the equation there. Remember, you just go here. The B parameter estimates. This one will be BO. This one will be B1. This one will be B2. So 149.694 minus, because this is negative, minus 20.409x1 plus 0.421x2. Here it is. Here it is. Now, the question wants us to do what? Okay, interpret. This is Afrikaans, but that's what I can say. Okay, the value, I need the one with, okay, where is it? Where is it? Now you need to do what? Now you need to interpret, okay, because there it's English plus Afrikaans. Now you need to interpret. Remember to interpret. If it's negative, if they say you need to interpret the B1 value, this one, you'll have to, it's negative. So where's the B1 for unity? You see, it will decrease because it's negative, that value. It will decrease with that value that they mentioned. And to get the R square, check on the output. Where is it? Here it is. Also, you're given the adjusted coefficient of determination. And then determine what percentage, and then what's the other one? This one, regression is a whole significance. Now with this one, you have to formulate the null hypothesis. You have to formulate, which is F. Let me show you something. They didn't write it here, but you have to formulate it and compare the thing and check if it's statistically significant. Yeah, can also do that. But it's the other one that is, yeah, but you can see. Let me show you something here on tester, that this thing is, okay, this is the output that will be given. Here it is. And then now we see this the output, and then they will just say, where is it? Question 1. I wonder whether there's a question. Use the output, write down the equation. You see? 1 mark, the equation. You just go and check it here, this side. The BO, B1, B2, B3, because we have 3 intercepts. You get this, you get the equation. And check if it's negative. Interpret the value of the estimate. They want you to interpret B2, which is, where's B2? This one. Interpret this one. Adjusted coefficient of determination. Remember, you need N, you need R square, you need the K. The K will be equal to 3. You use the formula, the one that I showed you. Then you get it there. You see, it's interesting. Yeah. And then that's how you do it. Then this one is how you formulate. How you formulate, and then remember, now with this part of the formulating, if they don't give you the table, it means you can use the p-value and also the alpha. Then you get it. So yeah, that will be the end of the session for the multiple regression. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video, and remember, statistics is enjoyable and engaging. Make sure that before you do the previous question papers, you understood the basics. Yeah. And all the best with your semester test. You're writing the semester test tomorrow. Yeah. Best.